Chris Conway, Australian Stock Report, come into the show live from our Melbourne studios, will you? Welcome into the proceedings. Let's, just because you are where you are, let's just get your connection to Crown, because there we have the AGM taking place minutes away from our studios. You're dressed sort of almost for the funeral. I'm just wondering, is that sort of emblematic of Crown today, or what?
Quite possibly it is, Carson. Yeah, obviously their VIP gaming revenues have fallen sharply, down about 17%. I think they had a slight increase in general gaming, whatever a slight is in quotation marks, and their non-gaming revenue was up 6%, which was about the only good sign. I think that's tied to Crown Bet. That seems to be the only sort of engine for growth. But yeah, I wouldn't quite call it a funeral. James is back in town, but you're right, the AGM's taking place.
What about Lazarus? Call it Lazarus.
Sorry, say again.
Lazarus Rising.
Yeah, the prodigal son has returned. Well, let's see if he can right the ship.
Daddy would be proud. Just to finish that analogy, we would be remiss, would we not, to ignore Star, because they did give a trading update. So let's talk the rival just by way of comparison. Domestics performed in line. Now, you'd have to say that is actually a beat alongside the Crown story, because there they continue to grapple with VIP, which is where the margin, bickies it to be digested, is it not? That's really struggling.
Yeah, that's where the bacon is, and let's face it, all the stink that surrounded their executives being holed up in China and facing those accusations that they did, that seems to be they're still carrying it. And yeah, one need only look at the Star comparison, like you say. Their VIP revenues were much better. As I said, Crown's has fallen away 17%. So the stink is still lingering, if you will. Yeah. And they need to do something to turn that around. And more importantly, I would have thought they need to do it legally, so they don't end up in the same position they have been recently.
Yeah. The other thing is, first to markets. We were talking, Adam, about the Barangaroo time frame. You know, Star cycling new product and construction abatement. So the next quarter's VIP trading is all going to be about Australian volume recovery. They seem to have momentum, Star, now in being one step ahead. It's going to be hard for Crown to come in behind that, and they're going to have to cut something in terms of the offering's going to be made attractive. How? You either go above and beyond with the gold chandeliers versus a silver set at Star. I mean, what do you do?
I think Crown for Barangaroo, they're going to be targeting a different audience, being the high rollers. That's going to be more of their focus. Star
has to be, right? Exclusively their focus.
That's right. Yeah. So Star will be the retail punter.
All right, plus some VIP,
plus sprinkling some VIP and things like that. Okay. So I think, yeah, Crown will try and differentiate itself there. But they've got a lovely view, and I suspect they'll be wheeling people in pretty quickly. Okay.
Blackmores, Chris, down 2.5%. Profit was up 28% in the quarter. Sales growth of 9%. China humming. China really humming. Is that sort of where we must increasingly expect them to be making hay?
I would think so, Carson. Yeah, up 28% I think was the China sales numbers, and struggling in Australia really. And I think that's really the story, and goes some ways to explaining why the stock took a bit of a hit today. I mean, let's not forget it had a pretty charmed run of late, but you know, the regulatory issues in China, I know that the existing regulations have been extended for another year with that cross-border e-commerce, so it's given the company some stability, I should say. But, you know, I don't think any company would like the possibility of in a year's time from now, the earth moving under their feet, the sand shifting under their feet and altering their ability to do business in what now is their key market. So, yeah, headline numbers are pretty good, but there's that risk that is you know, we can't escape from.
Yeah, the other thing is, it's sort of worth bringing in A2 Milk at this point, because you have a story that's not just China, it's it's pan APAC, is it not?
Yeah, very much so.
Where those risks about the earth moving under your feet, to Chris's point, you've got a far greater hedge at A2M than you do at Blackmores.
And certainly the share price has been reflecting that hedge. It's just continuing to go up, down a little bit today, but 746. You know, it's been an absolutely cracker of a run.
It has not yet soured. This is a very long life milk story.
That's exactly right. 151% up for 6 months. Okay. So it's done very well.
Let's talk Bega alongside it. Some breakers coming through the last hour. So talking about a number of potential opportunities in dairy and food. but acknowledging that it's no longer a potential buyer of Murray Goulburn. So we might also compare the Murray Goulburn share price on that news. And though, here's a kind of a remark redolent of Solly Lou just in the last week. No current plans, in this case to raise capital, not to stage a takeover, but no current plans. Do you understand in the same breath, Adam, that there could well be now a growing chorus of doubt over just what they've said there? Because current plans doesn't mean no plans.
No, certainly they can turn that around in 3 months' time. You know what is current.
Yeah, exactly.
You know, but you know I think they're looking at other potential opportunities in the dairy space, and I think it's right. I mean, and we also saw Blackmores pulling away from their milk, baby infant formula with Bega today as well. Yeah. So. Bega, the market actually liked that. Stock's up to 12 cents, 7.87 for Bega. So that's an actual positive for them. But yeah, the no cap race stuff, then that will probably be a little bit tough.
In fairness, though, if they, you know, if they have Chris Conway said no to Murray Goulburn, that would have been a chief justification for a cap raise. So there would be sighs of relief even in this rally today, I guess, that you're not being diluted. But for the longer term strategy, was that going to be a net benefit to them? A build out via Murray Goulburn in your view, Chris Conway?
Yeah, look, possibly it would. They've been on the acquisition trail. Obviously, they bought that suite of products from Kraft, which they're still rolling out with their peanut butters and Vegemites and whatnot. So, yeah, I think longer term strategically it would have provided benefit, but as with all of these things, it depends on what price you can get it at. And it depends on the capacity of the business to absorb the other business and extract those synergies. So, you know, like I said, for me, it's only recently they bought that. I think they paid sort of $600 million for that suite of products from Kraft. I've actually been to some market research on them repitching their peanut butter. So they're still in the process of making that happen. So to take on Murray Goulburn at this point in time, I would have thought, like I said, probably just beyond the capacity of the business to do everything all at once. So again, they've come out and said that they don't have any immediate plans. We know that generally, you know, buys them at least 6 months. It doesn't mean they've got no plans at all.
Yeah, all right. Okay, we're going to leave it there, but thank you as always. Australian Stock Report's Chris Conway. Have a good rest of your week. Coming up.